Portland State University is giving a rough estimate of just how much it will cost to repair the damages that were done to Millar Library on campus. That is where people occupied the building during pro-Palestinian protests 2 weeks ago. Fox 12's Drew Reeves is in studio to give us the numbers. Drew?
Yeah, Portland State University says that the rough estimate to repair the library is $750,000, but they say that that number could change quite a bit. They say that number does not include any cost to replace or repair damaged technology or furniture. The school estimates that about 30% of the computers were destroyed. They say estimates for those repairs may take a few more weeks. The school also says that the $750,000 estimate could increase or decrease by about $125,000. The university says it does have insurance and they are seeking a claim to offset some of the costs. We got a look inside the library last week and graffiti could be seen on all of the walls. Those have since been painted, but the school was estimating it will still be several weeks before graffiti can be removed from the building's glass and cabinets. The assistant director of operations and maintenance for PSU told us all 5 floors of the library were damaged. That included the roof and basement. Protesters broke into the library and occupied it for around 3 days before police moved in and cleared them out of the building. 30 people were arrested, but 4 of them did have their cases dropped. The library has been closed since the occupation, and the university says they hope to have it back open by the fall. We will get an updated look at the library tomorrow. University President Ann Cudd says that she will be speaking with media and giving a tour of the library tomorrow at 11 a.m. Reporting in studio, Drew Reeves. Good day.